Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Performance Trust Field for tonight's soccer match between the Bulldogs of Riverside, Brookfield, and your Wheaton Academy Warriors. Yeah! Before we begin this evening's competition, please rise with me. Gentlemen, the captain for a moment of prayer, followed by the singing of the national anthem. Gracious and loving Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for this day and all that you have done for us. We thank you for your Son Jesus and the salvation that we can have through him because of his sacrifice on the cross. We pray that you would protect these athletes tonight as they play the game of soccer. May their talents, efforts, and this competition be glorifying to you. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. And ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by senior number 5, Scott Murray. Yeah.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Scott Murray. And now, the starting lineup for the Bulldogs. Riverside, Brookfield. The goalie, number 0, Nick Gilberto. Number 6, Liam Kaiser. Number 8, Thomas Kanakis. Number 9, Xavier Salanka. Number 10, Diego Vilgalgas. Number 11, Max Wisselman. Number 14, Will Slesser. Number 16, Cole Rubio. Number 17, Diego Castillo. Number 18, Max Schuberman. And number 19, Joseph Garcia. The Bulldogs are coached by Villa Halleck, Carlos Hernandez, and Kristen Bloomberg. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing your Wheaton Academy Warriors. In goal, he's a junior, 0, Connor Riddle. Junior, number 2, Sam Brown. Sophomore, number 3, Carlton McClure. Senior, number 4, Asher Martin. Senior, number 5, Scotty Murray. Junior, number 7, Tyler Finnegan. Sophomore, number 8, Gabe Stein Rodriguez. Senior, number 9, Alex Moncal. Senior, number 10, Max Fitzcab. And he's a freshman, number 14, Mason Brook. The Warriors coached by Jeff Brooks, Drew Cessna, Josh Morgan, and Joe Samaggio. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Homecoming 2023. We're glad you're with us.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Performance Trust Field. We have a little bit of Friday Night Lights soccer for you tonight, where the Wheaton Academy Warriors are taking on the Riverside Brookfield Bulldogs. Tonight in the booth, we have a bit of a special occasion for us tonight because I have two co-hosts with me. First off, I have my baseball coach, Justin Swider, in the booth with me tonight, along with Gracie Weems, someone else in our sports broadcasting class. Justin, how you doing tonight?
Jacob, it's great to be here. It's a little unusual for me to be here on a Friday night, obviously playing football. We got our win last night, but happy to be here with you to commentate for the soccer game this evening.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. Gracie, how you doing tonight?
Good. I'm so excited for this soccer homecoming game.
Yeah, it'll be a good one as it is homecoming, so there is a lot of people in the stands. There was quite a few people in the stands for homecoming for the football game last night, but unlike usual, the soccer game is on Friday night and the football game is on Thursday night. So we got the Warriors taking on the Bulldogs. For the first time, though, the Warriors are taking on the Bulldogs in a non-conference matchup because of the new conference this year. So the Warriors will only play them once this year. This is the first time, as this is their second to last game of the season. Really good rivalry between Riverside, Brookfield, and Wheaton Academy all across all of our sports as the kickoff, and we are ready to go. So it's going to be a fun matchup. Riverside Brookfield doesn't have as good of a record as the Warriors, but that is because they play a really tough schedule. The Warriors have some sustained pressure right off the bat, though.
Jacob, I wanted to bring some attention, though. You said there's a great crowd here. On the screen, you're going to see that the west side of the field stands have very little spans, but tonight we are unveiling our lacrosse state championship banner on that side of the stadium, so we've asked all our soccer fans to be on the east side stadium, which is not normal for here at Wheaton Academy. So it may appear on video that there are a lot of fans, but in reality there are a ton here on our east side.
They are right next to the press box. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, that'll be an exciting ceremony during halftime. So unlike normal when I tell you guys to go get a snack and a drink, we actually want you guys to stay put because we have the lacrosse state championship ceremony as the banner will be posted on the other side. You can actually see the black tarp covering it right now, so we're really excited about that, and all the lacrosse players are going to get their rings tonight.
We'll also be having the Furnace Company. We'll be doing a performance as well at halftime, so lots to do at halftime of this homecoming soccer game.
Gracie, you were on the mic with me the last time we had a soccer live stream, and that was against the Eagles, and the Warriors needed to work on their composure. That's one of our game changers, as that was an absolute shot to the top right corner. Unbelievable right there, and a good start there from the Bulldogs, as I believe that was number 14, or my apologies, number 11, Max Swissonis, with a great goal there to start it off for the Bulldogs. That was buried to the top right corner.
That was a missile shot out of the cannon right there.
1-0 right off the bat, and this plays right into what I was about to say. Gracie, you can talk about how the Warriors need to keep their composure a little bit better in this game.
Yes.
That's something that they didn't do well last time.
Last time we saw more of the other team in our box than we could get in their box, so just definitely defense is something that we need to stay high on pressure today, especially since they're full force coming at us.
And that's something we can talk about on the defensive side. Connor Riddle's been an absolute force in the net for the Warriors, as he only averages about 1 goal against them a game, which is pretty solid for a 2A soccer goalie. And our defensive line in the back, we have Asher Barton, Jacob Carlson, Kyler Finnegan, and Scotty Murray drops back quite a bit to help out as well. So usually we're pretty solid back there, but that was just some great footwork and a great shot there by Max Wissonis to give the Bulldogs an early lead.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that the energy by the Warriors this evening will sustain throughout the game. Obviously a quick score by the Bulldogs, but hopeful that the Warriors can match and come back hopefully here soon in this game.
Another game changer that we have tonight is just keeping your emotions under control. We saw that against the Eagles team. There were some calls that didn't go the Warriors' way that got them pretty upset, along with playing in overtime. This is going to be a really close matchup. As I said, Bulldogs don't have as great a record as you might have saw on our pregame graphic, but they play some really, really tough teams. Plainfield South is up there, Yorkville's up there, so they play a lot of big schools. They played the number 5 ranked team in Illinois and only lost them by 1 goal. So they have a very solid club. It's going to be a close game. I know the Warriors are going to try to get right back in it, as we have some big-time scorers on this team too. We have a freshman who gets some points on the board for the Warriors a lot in Mason Brook. along with Sam Brown. He's going to try to deposit some goals in the back of the net for us as well. So it's going to be a great game. But yeah, keeping your emotions under control, because soccer really is a marathon. I would compare the pace of soccer almost to baseball, where it is a very long 90 minutes of play, and the Warriors need to really take advantage of that.
Jacob, remind me, the last time we were home was against Chicago Hope, correct? And that was that overtime game.
That was that overtime game.
On senior night. Yeah, that was a back-and-forth battle. Ultimately, it didn't go our way. But like you were saying, we'll be able to control emotions, and hopefully we can rebound here this evening.
For those of you tuning into this game, it will be interesting to see, because this Riverside Brookfield team is 1-6 on the road, so they don't play their best soccer on the road typically, and the Warriors have only lost one home game, and that was to Chicago Hope in the last 2 seasons. So it should be interesting to see if the Warriors can really take hold of home field advantage, as that shot is blocked by Jacob Carlson. Nicely done there. This one's going to roll to the corner.
It's nice. That Carlton over there in the corner, that was a nice defense played by him. Get that ball out, but Riverside looks like they got the ball back.
Riverside Brookfield off the bat looks like they have a little more thunder in their cleats to start. Looks like they're playing with good speed. Should be interesting to see how the Warriors handle offensively. Normally, what we talked about and what I talked about before the game with Jacob Carlson is sometimes they end up playing in about 10 yards of space instead of opening up the field. That's something that me and Gracie talked about quite a bit on the live stream last time, is that they really need to utilize both corners. They need to utilize the middle of the field a little bit better, and then really got to capitalize on penalties as well. That was our other game changer for the night. Capitalize on the penalties, capitalize on the corner kicks for the Warriors.
Yes, that's where I feel like Chicago Hope really got us last game, was they figured out how we were working on offense, and they got around us, and that's how they got their third goal to win the game in overtime.
Unfortunate there's a little miscommunication between Gabe Stein-Rodriguez and Sam Brown, as Scotty Murray tried to play a through ball right off the bat. But it will be the Warriors throw-in. As you can see Scotty Murray there. We talk about him quite a bit up here on the live stream. The man loves to hustle. He is a spark plug for this team for sure. Gets it done on the defensive side of the ball and on the offensive side of the ball.
He's also doing it in the press box tonight, too, singing the national anthem for us as well.
That was one of the best national anthems I've ever heard. That was very spectacular. Very nicely done by Scotty Murray.
A little country twang in there.
He does.
I mean, just got to get down there deep and low in the diaphragm, and, man, just getting after it here.
I guess we can give him a shout out, because Scotty Murray does make his own music. He's a very talented artist. He's a very talented musician. So shout out Scotty Murray singing the national anthem tonight. Did a great job, as the Warriors got a good chance to capitalize here. You got Jacob Carlson, number 11, Gabe Stein-Rodriguez, number 8, and Scotty Murray lining up for this free kick, as it will be Gabe as he chips it to the middle, and a collision in the box as their goalie is down, Nick Gilberto. Unfortunate collision in the box, I believe, between Max Fitzcam and the goalie, as our trainer from Olympia, Hannah Slinkman, will run out there.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay out there. She makes her way. That was looked like a pretty big collision going in towards the goal. He was coming out, our guy was coming in. But yeah, hopefully he's all right. He looks like he's
grabbing his head or something on his
Might have been a little bit of collision. As you can see, Max Fitzcam jumped up for that ball, trying to take a header. Might have caught in a shoulder to the head or a knee to the head. As you can see,
it looks like she's holding his knee or the lower part of his leg.
We hope he's okay and can continue in the remainder of this game. That would be a huge blow to Riverside Brookfield. Once again, if you guys are watching, make sure you guys subscribe, because we got plenty more live streams coming up. We have the basketball schedule coming out soon, so we're really excited to live stream those. Those are personally some of my favorite broadcasts to be on. We got a couple more soccer games in the works, and one more home football regular season game, and hopefully hoping to get a playoff game as well.
Yeah, I was going to see how you're going to label that one. You said home regular season game, and then, yeah, hopefully we're going to have a home playoff game, maybe 2. We'll see how the rest of this year finishes up.
Me and my football partner, Coach Smith, were pretty disappointed, because we thought the Aurora Christian game next week was at home, and we were all jazzed up to commentate that one, only to find out about a day ago that we're going to have to drive 20 minutes across town to watch that one. As as I believe Nick Gilberto is going to end up being okay. Gracie, we talked about it last live stream about how hyped up you were for homecoming, considering this is your first time around the house for homecoming this year. But now you've experienced almost all of it, and you won't be at the dance tomorrow because you got a trip. But tell me what your thoughts of homecoming are so far this week.
I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so fun. Everyone goes all out here, which is very different than my old school. So that was super fun to see everyone have so much school spirit. And I think it's so interesting, too, how our soccer game is our Friday night homecoming game. So super fun and exciting.
What was your favorite moment of the week? If you had to pick one, which I know is very difficult, what was your favorite moment of the week?
My favorite moment was probably just all the assemblies and seeing all the teachers dancing on stage. That was so funny, and they just kept going. I thought they were going to stop eventually, but they kept going. They had skits planned out, and looks like they put a lot of time and effort into that.
As the Warriors have some pressure now, as Alex Monkow tries to find a through ball, he'll pass it over to Mason Brook, who's going to try to cut to the corner, but he decides to put on the brakes for the Warriors. But yeah, they go all out here at Wheaton Academy. It's going to be a corner kick for the Warriors. One of the things I said that we have to capitalize on tonight. It's going to be interesting, as I believe Gabe Stein Rodriguez is taking it down there for the Warriors. Warriors have 3 different set plays that they run from the corner. We have one tight, a moving pass, and then a pass right off the bat to a cross. As that's a good cross in. And another big collision in the box, this time between 2 Warriors players. And good patience there by Kyler Finnegan, able to bring that ball down.
I know the Riverside Brookfield goalie is out, but now they're having to play with their backup. Obviously, you don't know he's coming back in the game. I was hoping we could try to capitalize with a non-starter goalie in there, but it looks like and glad for him that he's healthy and okay. But hopefully we were going to capitalize when he wasn't in the game at that point. I'm
sure that's exactly what the Warriors' plan was, but couldn't quite capitalize on that one. But soccer is a very long game. But Riverside Brookfield got the early lead, and that is huge. And it really did silence Performance Trust Field quite a bit. There's not that much energy. Could also be because it's a cold night. That's another one of our game changers tonight, is how to deal with the weather. Me and Coach Dwighter are all too familiar with playing with cold weather, as I believe it was my sophomore year, our opening day, it snowed for the first 3 innings of our opening baseball game. But weather does play a big key into not only momentum and energy, but also pace of play.
That was quite the game. As a coach, I have for football, I've never coached in a snow game. I've never actually played football in a snow game, had a practice or two, but that was a first to have a baseball game, have some flurries out there. And I can remember the West Chicago baseball coach wasn't too happy with me as I made his team play that game that day. But yeah, I remember Hudson Williams, his post the next day on Instagram was snowman or something like that. And yeah, that was quite the day.
Yeah, and I believe, if I recall correctly, we were trying to play extra innings in that game too, and we were, and it got unsuccessful.
Too dark. Yep, that was not a great game, but we responded well that season. Ended up having a nice hot streak towards the end, and finished the year well.
Things are looking up for this season as well. As good footwork in the box once again by these Riverside Bulldogs. They have a great touch on all game, as a bit of a miscue there. That one might roll out of bounds. And it does. And it will be the Bulldogs' ball. Something interesting, once again, about this Bulldogs team is they play somewhat of a tough schedule late, whereas usually what the Warriors soccer team does is they stack a lot of their very tough games earlier in the season. The Bulldogs have almost the reverse of that. A lot of their earlier games this season were a lot easier for them, and then as of late, they've played some really, really tough teams. So it would be interesting to see how they respond to playing the Warriors, as this is a big rivalry game for them. First time not playing them in a conference matchup because of the new conference this year. But almost immediately, Riverside Brookfield's coach responded and said, yeah, we want another rematch, as the Warriors defeated them 4-0 in this very spot last year. As Connor Riddle with a big-time save, and a second save to follow it up. And the third shot just goes wide. Connor Riddle, have yourself a night in the net. My goodness.
Showing off the athleticism. First shot, second shot, and he was ready for that third shot to come in and went just wide right.
Stone cold in the net, Connor Riddle. And no, ladies and gentlemen, that was not a joke about the weather. He was just staring down the shot, and he was able to pick up the rebound as well. Very nicely done by Connor Riddle. Keeps the Warriors in it in just a 1-goal game.
Jacob, I'm not going to lie, that joke went right over my head till you said something. So that was a good one.
It wasn't intentional. As soon as I said it, I realized what might have been communicated. But nicely done there by Connor Riddle in the net. As we got to talk about some of our defensive players, we got a lot of seniors on this team this year. We talk about Jacob Carlson. Multi-sport athlete, tremendous athlete. I've grown up with him for a really long time, just knowing him. He's a competitor. He loves the big-time games. He's a captain on this team. I had the privilege, I'm a photographer for this team as well. I had the privilege of being in the locker room pregame, and he has some absolutely stellar pregame speeches, if I do say so. Great ball there by Scotty Murray as Alex Monkow is going to track this one down, and it is off the post and in! Alex Monkow with the equalizer for the Warriors to tie it up at 1.
What a pass and what a shot. I didn't know if that thing was going to get in there right at the end, but it went in just by inches.
Alex Monkow ties it up at 1, and once again, Performance Trust Field is back on their feet.
Man, what a shot. Jacob, I think tonight the goal is to get Coach Schweider to understand soccer and have some verbiage a little bit. So I just know that was a pass and a shot on goal. That's all I know, and that might be the most soccer terminology I'll say all night.
That was one of two. You could call that pass two things. That was either a lob pass, considering he chipped it up and over the defenders, or you could also say that was a through ball, considering he played it on the other side of Scotty Murray, or Alex Monkow, my apologies, and had him run to the ball.
Okay, just like that joke you made a few minutes earlier, that terminology just went right over my head as well.
You'll pick it up. It's easier to. Mason Brook now on a little bit of a break for the Warriors, as we're going to talk about him in a minute, as he is a freshman starting on varsity. Not only starting on varsity, but has some insane stats this year and plays almost every minute of every single game.
He is not on the field just because he's the coach's kid. He has earned his way onto that field, and hopefully you'll see some of that stuff tonight.
Yeah, he is an athlete. He's not the biggest kid out there. I would say that his height, a lot of people would think is a disadvantage to him, but he really utilizes his speed and his height and his size to his advantage. We got to talk about him for a minute. Mason Brook has 14 points on the year coming in this game, has 10 goals and 4 assists, second most goals on the team, and he is a freshman, and he doesn't even play up top. He usually plays midfield. That was Alex Monkow's 10th goal of the season, though.
I feel like that goal really picked the Warriors back up. Their plays looks like it's getting faster and just more aggressive now.
Mason Brook gonna try to go to the corner.
So close.
Nicely done by the Bulldog defenders, though, able to get that ball out. Risky play, though, stepping right in front of the goalie. As it'll be a free kick for the Warriors in tight, right around the 15-yard line.
In my world, that would have been called pass interference.
It would have been a PI, yellow on the field, but no, it will be a free kick for the Warriors. Be interesting to see who takes it this time. I would imagine, as you can hear there on your screen, Coach Brook yelling from the bench, yelling play calls, what the Warriors will draw up here. I would imagine they'll go right for the shot.
Last time they had three guys going right, 1, 2, 3, same thing.
As Gabe goes for the shot, and it goes off the crossbar. Sam Brown capitalizes for the Warriors to make it 2-1.
A cartwheel celebration. Oh.
Man, off the crossbar, coming back hot with the header. I do know that terminology.
Header, there you go. My goodness, Sam Brown with his 12th goal of the season was just getting ready to talk about his offensive play on the Warriors, but he beat me to it. A junior starter on this varsity team, and just like that, in a matter of minutes, the Warriors go from down 1 to up 1 and take the lead. What a game already. This is an exciting one to watch up in the booth, as Gracie, I think you nailed it. As soon as the Warriors were able to deposit that first goal, they play with a little more life now.
Yeah.
My dad happens to be a former college soccer player, and his favorite thing to say is the most dangerous time in soccer is the 5 minutes after a goal. So we'll see if the Bulldogs can get back in it or see if the Warriors can capitalize on another. The Warriors definitely playing with a little more life, but you can see the Bulldogs are starting to pick it up and play with a little more intensity now.
Jacob, were you ever a soccer player? I know you played a little hockey, you played baseball, obviously for me. Were you ever a soccer player following your dad's footsteps?
I played soccer for about one season when I was little, and if I'm going to be honest, I cried when the other team took the ball from me, and that's just when I realized that soccer was not the sport for me. I was more of a baseball guy at that point.
That I don't mind hearing.
About 24 minutes and some change on the clock now before the end of the first half. Is this game's flying by. Not a lot of stoppage in play as opposed to the last time we were up here in the booth, as that game versus the Eagles was very stop and go all night long.
A lot of cramps in that game.
Yes.
Injury time. Nice
Carlton
move by
McClure,
Carlton.
he's going to have a bit of a break, and he's going to try to drive the corner as he tried to
good
cross it to the middle.
defense.
Nothing playing there as Carlton McClure is going to try to hustle to this ball.
It was a nice piece of defense by the Riverside Brookfield Bulldogs defenders. It looks like, is it going to be their ball or our ball?
It'll be the Bulldogs' ball.
Okay.
Foul called against Carlton McClure there. There's a bit of extra shoving going on. Looked like it was mutual between both the guys, but nevertheless, penalty against the Warriors.
I might get a little physical there, right? Try to set the tone a little bit. Got the lead back.
The Warriors normally a pretty physical team. They know how to utilize the body. That's something that, once again, me and Gracie talked about quite a bit against the Eagles, as that was a very physical game. I believe there was a total of 8 cards passed out between the two teams that game. So Warriors definitely know how to use the body, but they need to understand how to control themselves as well. As Caleb Vanderbilt going to try to wheel to the corner, and it will be a corner kick. You can see right there, Caleb Vanderbilt sub into the game, but man, he has some wheels. That guy can fly.
Who's going to be taking the corner kick? Is that Sam Brown over there?
I believe it is Gabe Stein Rodriguez down in the corner once again. Sam Brown from the back. Gabe Stein Rodriguez and Sam Brown look the exact same. The reason I can tell the difference is Sam Brown has the bright blue shoes, and that's how you can tell the difference. That corner is going to be just a bit short. Good try there by Asher Barton, trying to find the near post. There's multiple subs in the game now for Riverside Brookfield.
23-7.
As David Carrillo in the game now for Riverside, going to help them out on the offensive rush. Just over 20 minutes left here in the first half now. As Alex Moncal able to strip the ball there and rush the pass a little bit, but Mason Brook has some space. Gonna pass it down to Carlton McClure. He's got some time now. He waits, he's gonna try to find Gabe Stein Rodriguez, who passes it to Carlton McClure, and a sky ball there to Alex Moncal. And his header just comes up a bit short. As there will be a penalty called against the Warriors, as I believe they called a handball against Mason Brook there as he kind of toppled over the ball. Once again, if you guys are watching, drop a comment in the chat below. Let us know who you're supporting, where you're watching from. Hopefully it's much warmer where you're watching from than where we are right now, as I believe it is about 45 degrees right now with a little bit of wind. Probably feels like 40.
I went home after football practice this morning, this afternoon before I came back for the commentating, and my family at dinner time had a fire going in the fireplace for the first time this season.
Seems like Christmas is coming early around here, as it's still just the beginning of October.
Shout out to my family. They were excited to hear me on the live stream. They're not here at the game, but they are listening at home right now. So shout out to my wife, Renee, my boys, JJ, Uriah, Stryker, my daughter, Haven, and my in-laws, my mother and father-in-law, who are in from Virginia.
That is exciting. Hopefully JJ will come up and give me some knucks when I see him at the football game next week, as he's usually pretty excited to be out there.
Oh, yeah. Just give him about another year or so, and he'll be down the sideline as a ball boy. So,
as Sam Brown looked to be a pretty evident handball on that one, but
saw
no
that
call.
as well.
Almost like he swatted the ball right back down to the ground, but we will play on as that one goes off of the future lacrosse banner that we're going to see at halftime.
Try to unveil it a little sooner.
Sam Brown on a bit of a break as a slide tackle there. Nicely done, as that was all ball there by the Bulldogs defender. As it is the Warriors' ball, and Bulldogs decide to throw it downfield. Thought it was theirs. And now the captain official is going to overrule that, and it will be the Bulldogs' ball once again. But yeah, we talked about homecoming week a little bit ago. We got a lot of alumni on campus, as you can see there. We got
Mason, what a pass!
Sam Brown for his second of the night. Great save there by Gilberto, once again standing tall in the net on Sam Brown, who tried to find his second of the night.
Did you say that with that kind of pass? Is it a through pass?
Through ball.
Okay,
through ball. Right to Sam Brown. And he took that shot with his left foot. Normally a right. He's dominated on his right foot, but got some power on that left foot too. As I was saying, though, you could see the tent set up in the parking lot for homecoming week. Got a lot of alumni on campus. I asked Gracie what her favorite moment of as Colton passes it right off the post. Monkow now, diving save. Sam Brown finish now.
Gosh,
3 shots in a row, 3 chances for the Warriors.
Talk about heating up the goals.
Goalie is fast on his feet.
Nick Gilberto doing one better than Connor Riddle.
I was just about to say, Connor showed him how to do it, and he says, I'm going to one-up you.
My goodness. Big time defense there from Nick Gilberto. Corner kick now for the Warriors. As Mason Brook standing down there with Gabe Stein-Rodriguez. It'll be interesting to see if they run that play up where they have a short pass to Mason, who will then cross it in. The Warriors have been successful on that quite a bit this year. As that one is crossed in, they try to find Asher Barton. As Kyler Finnegan will not be able to get that shot through. Monkow is going to try to drive the corner. Hands it off to Kyler Finnegan. Good passing attempt there. Alex Monkow has some space, and he decides not to take the shot. That one's crossed in. No good there. A lot of good chances there for the Warriors offense. As we did talk about it, the Warriors did have a pretty big win last night in football. But in the conference, we have a big-time matchup going on that really does pay dividends for the Warriors in who we play next week, Aurora Christian, as they are playing Marion Central Catholic tonight. So I'm sure all of our football players, I was talking with Captain Brett Dieter today, his heart was torn a little bit because he wanted to show out to that football game, do some scouting, but also wanted to be up here at Performance Trust Field to watch this soccer game.
Yeah, Jacob, I'm watching the soccer game, but also on the side computer I have on the NFHS website, I got the Aurora Christian Marion Central Catholic game going on as well. Just trying to stay in tune. I got my coaches group chat going on my phone. They're updating me on the score. I currently believe it is 21 to nothing. Aurora Christian at home against Marion Central Catholic.
It is that time of year where a lot of playoff sports starting to come around. Playoff baseball started this week. That's where a lot of my attention's gone. I think my screen time went up about an hour just by watching baseball. Definitely not during classes, but definitely watching a lot of baseball this week as playoffs have started.
Did the homework production go down just a little bit then as the baseball screen time went up?
Exactly. Exactly. Good thing we didn't get a lot of homework for homecoming week this week.
But doesn't Ms. Carwell say that the academic learning doesn't go down at all?
But I mean, if you don't have homework, then might as well learn a little bit about baseball in your free time.
Absolutely. Why not?
As another Warriors foul there, as it'll be the Bulldogs' ball as they try to play the long ball into the box, and nicely done by Mason Brook, getting good body position on that one. Kyler Finnegan passes it way down to Sam Brown. Try to find a header on that one to send it over to Carlton McClure. Interesting strategy putting Carlton McClure up top. We haven't seen him up top all year, but he's done a great job so far in this one. So we got just about 15 minutes left here in the first half. If you're just joining us, Bulldogs started this game off with a goal pretty early in the game. I want to say about 2 minutes into it, and then it took the Warriors about 15 minutes to capitalize once, and shortly thereafter we're able to deposit another one, as that is going to be a handball called on Kyler Finnegan, as Alex Monkow and Sam Brown both have themselves a goal tonight for the Warriors. I love the all-white jerseys from the Bulldogs. The only thing I don't love about it is it makes it a little hard up here in the booth to see what numbers they have. So as a pre-apology, if I get some of the names wrong on who it was, that's a handball called against the Warriors once again. Unfortunate there. But yeah, forewarning that the numbers are very tough to see on this Bulldogs team.
Yeah, they got white numbers on white jerseys. Maybe the jerseys actually, are they a little bit gray?
They look a little
gray.
light gray.
Definitely clean.
I know our lacrosse team, they have that same issue at times. But they have, I believe the lacrosse jerseys have a maroon outline. Our football jerseys, the high school or the IHSA has outlawed or banned, whatever you want to say, gray jerseys. They say they're not distinct enough to be considered away or home. They have to be different. So there are no gray jersey like alternates.
Interesting.
And so yeah, we wore those against Bishop Mack during the COVID spring game, and we have not worn them since.
Interesting.
So we wore the gray pants, but that's about it. We can't wear the gray tops. So it's either got to be maroon or white.
Should invest in some black jerseys. We got to get the black alternates back. Nice footwork there by Scotty Murray.
Scotty's defense has
As
been
that's a
on
good through ball to
fire
Carlton
tonight.
McClure.
Carlton.
It's a foot race, but the Warriors will not be able to recover the ball. Good pass there by Scotty Murray.
Ever since that first goal that they had, I feel like the game has been played down on their side of the field. Gracie, I know you were talking about getting the ball out on the other side of the field, and I think we've been able to do that.
Yeah, I feel like we're doing it better this game than last game. Last game was a little bit of a struggle.
As Adam Weber back out on the field for the Warriors now. He had a bit of an injury for a while. Nicely done by Caleb Vanderbilt. He had an injury for quite a bit of time. They thought maybe he had torn his hamstring, but ended up being cleared to play pretty early on. Ended up just being a hamstring pull, and he's out there, and he is a impact player for this team. Really good on his feet. A smart soccer player, knows the game really well. Is good diamond passing there by the Warriors. As Mason Brook takes an extra elbow, no call on that one. You can hear some of the fans here at Performance Trust Field getting a little rowdy. And Scotty Murray going to pass it down to Kyler Finnegan in the corner. He's also got some crazy good footwork as he's going to wheel to the corner, going to try to cross this one in. Plays it off the Bulldog defender. Nicely done, as it will be a corner kick. As Adam Weber's going to drop back on defense, and they're going to play Jacob Carlson and Asher Barton up top, two senior veterans who know the game of soccer really well with some good talent. And I believe both Asher Barton and Jacob Carlson are going to try to play college soccer. As this one's crossed in, Scotty Murray with a good header attempt, and it just nicks off the side of his head and goes out of the box. Bulldogs have some good speed up the field now.
Interesting thing about Scotty Murray, I remember during that COVID spring, or during the COVID season, Scotty came out for football in the fall, was playing football, and I don't know if he was tricking us or what, but I thought he was going to play football for 4 years here at Weed Academy, and all of a sudden, come springtime, he was in a soccer uniform. So he's quite the athlete. I think he would have been a unique football player, but love to see him out there on the soccer field. Is showing his athleticism, jump for that header right there. In front of the box, looked like he's probably like 7 feet off the ground.
Something that we talked about on the live stream last night with my co-host Derek Johannica is that you guys on the football team have been blessed that back-to-back years your kicker has been a senior previous soccer player who decided not to go out for soccer and decided to go out for football.
Well, I don't mean to correct you, Jacob, but Declan Finnegan was a two-sport athlete as he was the goalie on the soccer team and then kicked for football on Friday night.
Wow.
And was just a spectacular young man. One of the best things about him was that he just wanted to be out there with his teammates, so much so that the boys' Iowa trip for the soccer team, he played on a Friday afternoon, finished the game at like 3 o'clock, drove almost 4 hours, arrived at IC Catholic just before kicked off. I think he had like 11 points, 12 points for us, a couple field goals, some extra points, and then drove back that next morning and played in a soccer game. And so, yeah, what a unique opportunity and a great young man. I just love being out there. Yeah, now we have Ethan Head kicking for us and just doing a phenomenal job. And I hear in my ear as I go back and watch some of these games, watch out on Hawthorne Drive as you're driving down. You're going to get a football in the side window or in the parking lot underneath the tent. Watch out, there's incoming flying footballs.
Yeah, it's been interesting for the football team the past 2 years is that both Declan Finnegan and Ethan Head have been on national rankings for high school kickers, which is crazy for first-time football players to both be on the national rankings, as Ethan Head is 5th in the nation for high schoolers on kickoffs. He averages about 63.7 yards per kickoff. That is NFL-type numbers.
Yeah, he's doing a great job for us. We watch our special team films, and on kickoff, there's not much to watch because the ball just flies off his foot in the end zone and say, all right, next clip.
As good ball movement in here by the Bulldogs. And that one tried pass in, maybe one too many passes there for the Bulldogs, as it looks like they had a pretty clear shot. Would be interesting to see as this game progresses if they take more of those longer shots. I know the Warriors take a lot of those opportunities when they get them, as that whistle is blown against Sam Brown as a little extra shove. Not too happy with that one.
If I may ask, what distinguishes or constitutes a penalty with the physical part of the soccer game? I will be honest, I don't really understand what is going to be a penalty, what constitutes a yellow card. If you could give me a little explanation there, Jacob.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with if they're playing the ball or if they're just being physical to be physical. Mostly it has to do with the attempt. Like, obviously, you can play the ball and still be too physical by knocking the guy over, giving him an extra elbow. But most of it looks and is based off of intent and how you go at the ball. This one's crossed in. Header to the top left, and it is offsides. No goal. As you can hear some of the Wheaton Academy fans saying, great call, ref. As I don't know if they really saw what the call was, as more they are just happy that it isn't a goal.
I'm happy that's not a goal as well, but it was a great play by that young man from Riverside Brookfield.
Well, that was a great header to the top left corner. Very nice, precise shot, but a lot of it has to do with the intent and how it looks. Obviously, you can have a slide tackle, knock the guy over, but if you hit the ball first and knock it away, then usually there will be no whistle blown on the play. So a lot of it has to do with intent. Gracie, you can speak on this too. You played soccer for quite some time.
Yeah, in girls soccer it was a little different. In middle school, girls were a little scared to get aggressive, so watching boys soccer, it's definitely different, seeing people throwing each other at one another and just, yeah.
And I'd say another piece of it is you have to understand the energy and intensity of the game, where a lot of what we've seen been called in this game would have never been called in the Chicago Hope game, because that game was much more intense and much more physical, where this game hasn't been super physical yet. So something that's maybe a mid-scale type shove is going to get called because there just hasn't been much of it.
Sure.
As
For example,
right on cue.
yep.
As that wasn't a very big shove against Jacob Carlson, but it was enough and rare enough in this game that it's going to get called.
Yeah. That makes sense. I do love when officials kind of let the athletes play a little bit. Obviously, there's things that are intentional, like you were saying, Jacob, but there are times when things are not intentional and just kind of happen in the course of play. As I think about like pass interference calls with receivers and defenders. It's better usually when the game is less penalties in the game and just more action from the players.
Yeah, and you being a football coach, I'm sure, love the physicality of soccer as well, as because a lot of guys go pretty pretty physical, especially in that Chicago Hope game. You saw two guys go at it all game long, shoving each other, pushing each other, just really showing off the competitiveness. And that's what I really love about watching and commentating football is you see a lot of those gritty players and guys who love to compete, get after it, and display their hitting abilities. One guy that comes to mind is Brett Dieter. I talked about him on the live stream last night. I think he's a tremendous football player, but I would love to see him in an MMA fight. I think he would be a tremendous candidate for that. As bit of an extra shove there, but no call on that one. So
interesting.
As you can see, once again, we are a couple hundred feet away up here in the booth and not right next to the play, but from the naked eye, it looked like there was a little extra context.
Surprised Coach Brook wasn't all over that official. Not only is his player, but it's his son. I thought it was a penalty up here or a foul, and he's just over here calm and cool.
Coach Brook is a seasoned vet, that's for sure. For those of you who don't know, Coach Brook was the boys soccer coach for a long time, decided to take a break for a little bit, and then is back in action as this is his first year back with the team.
And when we say take a break, he's not just at home doing nothing. He's over there leading Wheaton Christian Grammar School as the head of school over there. So it's not really a break. It's more of a full-time job that he said. But now he's putting it back on his plate.
Exactly.
Coming back to Wheaton Academy, his alma mater, getting to coach a great soccer team as well as coaching his son.
One of my favorite things about Coach Brook is actually has nothing to do with his coaching abilities. It had to do with the chapel that he gave last year. I thought the chapel that he gave last year was stellar. Obviously, it shows his leadership and his impact on all these players, as he is an awesome man and really leads these boys well. And he is a very happy and fun guy to be around. He's got a good energy. We have just under 5 minutes to play now in the first half. Kind of a lot of goals strung together at the first part of this game, and then the defense has locked it up ever since. Shout out to Connor Riddle and Nick Gilberto, both the goalies in this game, doing a great job. As Gabe Yoder out there on the far side now for the Warriors, as he's going to get some offensive play and give the starters a little break before half. On your screens now, you definitely can see all the people. My apologies, behind the soccer goal, as it is filled up quite a bit.
I saw the lacrosse team making their way through the gate. They're somewhere down there getting ready for their state championship ceremony that will take place here just in several minutes. But yeah, we got a great crowd, and I think they all came over from the concert that was going on this evening prior to the soccer game here on campus. So lots of activities you guys were talking about here at Wheaton Academy for the final day or so of homecoming. Yeah, just a great atmosphere here.
Asher Barton's going to cross this one as far as he possibly can, as Warriors were hoping for a handball call against the Bulldogs in the box. I believe that the Warriors, the quick jump to conclusions might have been correct, as Jacob Carlson takes a spill on that one. And the Bulldogs have a great opportunity rushing outfield. Nicely done by Scotty Murray, able to knock that one back to his keeper, Connor Riddle. Nicely done by Scotty Murray, recovering on the defensive side.
Jacob Gracie, another question as I see Riddle out there getting the ball back into play. How long is the goalie allowed to hold on to that ball before he has to put it back into play?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I only remember this very specifically from FIFA, actually. I believe it's 10 seconds.
Okay.
I believe that's what it is. I could be wrong, but I do remember holding the ball as long as I possibly could to kill time against one of my friends. So I believe it is 10 seconds.
There's nothing like learning about sports through video games.
Hey, that is something I do have to shout out. My pregame before almost every live stream is I will play about 25 minutes of whatever sport it is just to get mentally ready and see and just kind of visualize some calls and in the game. For football, it's the easiest for me, and that's the easiest way I get prepped. I play.
So will you play? You'll play a little Madden football prior to a football game, a little FIFA prior to a soccer game.
I get home after school, sit down. I'll watch a little bit of football. I'll watch some of our previous live streams, and then I'll play a little Madden. I'll commentate my own Madden game, believe it or not. I know it sounds crazy. I'll be sitting in my room.
Good practice.
Going crazy. My parents have to walk in sometime, ask what's going on. But yeah, that's how I get prepped and prepared. And it really is a it is a tool if you use it in the right way.
I would love to be a fly on the wall to hear Jacob York commentating his old Madden football game.
As looks like we have another injury on the field.
Oh, nope, he's back up.
He's back up and ready to go. That was Mac Sherman. As he is back up and it seems like he's okay. Might have rolled his ankle on that one. As there's under a minute left to play here in the first half, as us as commentators are going to take a break during the half because you guys are going to get to watch the lacrosse ceremony. As the Warriors are going to try to get one more rush upfield as that pass by Scotty Murray is blocked by Riverside once again. Warriors trying to find a way to make one more push up the field as we have under 30 seconds to play now. As the Warriors under 20 seconds to play, trying to force it. As that one's going to roll out of bounds and the clock is going to die down. Great first half there from the Warriors and the Bulldogs. Going to be a very competitive second half. I'm really excited for it. Go grab a snack and drink. We'll come right back because we have a Furnace Company performance coming up along with the Lacrosse State Championship rings being presented. Gracie, I'm really excited for the second half.
I'm so excited. Last time I wasn't able to comment on the second half, so being able to now, I can't wait.
It's going to be a fun one, so we'll see you after the break. Stay tuned for some more great soccer coming up.
Wake me up before you go, go. Leave me hanging like a road. Wake me up before you go, go. Don't wanna miss if I need that. Wake me up before you go, go. 'Cause I'm not planning on going solo. Wake me up before you go, go. Take me down to the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, do have it out welcome back to the field.
Alrighty, welcome back everyone. We're getting ready for the second half. Two things that happened during halftime. One, I stepped down there and it is very much colder down there than it is up here in the booth. It is very cold down there.
That is hard to believe.
Number two, I did get to talk to some of the Warriors players and the game plan going into the second half. Going to be interesting to see what happens. The Warriors utilized the left side of their offensive field primarily the entire half. They're going to try to spread it out a little more, really work gap to gap, try to find the open holes in this Bulldogs defense. But it'll be interesting as the Warriors come into this half with a 1-goal lead, see how they do under pressure. But yeah, during halftime, you guys got to see the lacrosse team get presented with their rings and get the banner presented on the opposite side of the field.
They had a lot of lacrosse players back. I know a lot of those guys some of those guys were seniors from last year. They're out of college right now. A lot of them were back for this opportunity to be recognized here at halftime of our homecoming soccer game.
Yeah, what a team that was put together by Coach Weisenborn last year. Just kind of assembled a dynasty, if you might call it that, as they were a force to be reckoned with. Only had one loss all season. Now it's to IMG Academy, and they didn't have their full squad that game as they had a couple injuries as well. So that team was nationally ranked for a reason, as Max Fitzgame has a good chance right off the bat, as he's going to try to wheel to the corner, make a pass, and it is no good on the pass attempt. Great try there by Max Fitzgame, as Sam Brown was just a little ahead of that one. Warriors doing exactly what they talked about. Nice work by Kyler Finnegan, able to stay on his feet. And it'll be a goal kick now. But nicely done there by Max Fitzcamp. Wheeling to the corner, making a good pass. But just behind the offender, crashing towards the net, Sam Brown.
When you talk about a dynasty for the lacrosse team, obviously making the state the last 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. They took 4th, then improved to 3rd, and then made it to the state championship game last year and ended up winning the state championship pretty handedly as well. So yeah, what a dynasty and what a great program they've created so far, and obviously looking to have some success again this upcoming year with the bullet on, or excuse me, the target on their back.
Yeah, and a lot of the lacrosse team that was on that state championship last year is returning. They had a few seniors, but a lot of the guys are coming back, which will be interesting to see how they deal with that pressure of being the top guys in the league that everybody's gunning for. Good pass there by Caleb Vanderveld to the corner. Max Fitzcamp able to keep that one in play.
That will be,
and it's going to be a throw-in for the Warriors, but nicely done by Max Fitzcamp.
Is that a throw-in, Jacob, or is that going to be a corner kick?
As originally I thought it was a throw-in, but the ref is pointing down to the corner now for a corner kick.
All right, there we go. Another opportunity right out of the gates for the Warriors.
One of the top lacrosse players on that team last year was a sophomore, so he's really going to have a good opportunity to step into. That was Charlie Foley. He scored the majority of the Warriors' goals between him and Aiden Weisenborn. They had a couple hundred between the two of them. Good header attempt there by Max Fitzcamp once again, as he's getting all over the field right here in this second half. As Mason Brook in a foot race there in the Warriors' defensive end. As the Bulldogs going to try to get something going to even up this game. Nicely done by Caleb Vanderveld. Great footwork, great illusion, nice moves, able to get it out for the Warriors. That's a big-time play from Caleb Vanderveld, as he's really making an impact on the field for the Warriors. As it has gotten colder, it is hard to believe, but it has gotten colder since the first half. It's now just above 40 degrees. As good pass there by Sam Brown. Alex Moncal is going to have a shot at the net as he makes a nice move.
Get it.
And it will be a corner kick. Nicely done by the Bulldogs defense. But Alex Moncal with a golden scoring opportunity there.
How tall is Alex? I mean,
Alex Moncal, I believe, I can check really quick, but I believe he is 6'3".
Well, he's running, man. He's got those long strides. The people the defenders that are going up against him, not quite as tall. Their legs are moving a lot faster than his long strides. And I thought maybe he'd have an opportunity to put one in the back of the net.
Alex Moncal is 6'3". He is a basketball player as well, if all those of you who are wondering. And, ladies and gentlemen, he can dunk. And when I say he can dunk, like he really can dunk. He's got some nice moves under the rim for the basketball team.
Corner.
That one's crossed in as Jacob Carlson taken down in the box. Surprised there was actually no calls. He took a knee right to the head, but no call. As we will play on. As we got a couple of football players pointing up to us here in the booth from the Maroon Platoon. As 35 minutes now to play here in the second half. The Warriors really playing aggressive. Kind of surprising to see. Great move there by Max Fitzcamp, able to break a couple ankles.
I have seen great footwork from both teams this game. Really impressive.
Really impressive job by the Bulldogs. They do have really good footwork, as Caleb Vanderveld playing some good defense here, able to knock the ball away. A little last-second shove. Surprised there was no call on that one.
What an effort right there.
Yeah.
Just making sure that ball is not
with that.
recovered by the offensive
good
player.
Footwork there. And that
Bulldogs.
shot is just over the net. But my goodness, good shot there by Solomon Kala.
Through the uprights.
Through the uprights. That was an Ethan Head-esque type kick.
Not quite Ethan Head-esque, because it wasn't quite as high.
It wasn't quite as far into the street. As I said yesterday on the live stream, those of you who are at the homecoming tailgate, heads up, because it's raining footballs out there in the parking lot. It's Connor Riddle will show off the boot now, as he'll kick that one to right about halfway across the field is it is another 50-50 battle. That'll be a deciding factor in this second half. 50-50 battles will play, and whoever comes out on top with the most of those probably going to have a good chance at being in the lead.
Jacob, here's a question for you. If you are the head.
Oh, and a big-time save by Connor Riddle. Nicely done. Good recovery as that one squeaked between his legs, and he was able to make the last-second adjustment there. Nicely done by Connor Riddle. Back to what you were saying.
If you're the head soccer coach, you come out of the halftime with a 2-1 lead after being down 1-0 to start the game. What is your strategy? Obviously, Gracie was talking about keeping the pressure on, having opportunities to score early in the second half. When do you start to think about preserving the lead, and when do you continue to try to extend the lead?
I would say that once you get to about
from
the
your
20,
extensive soccer
from my extensive soccer career and knowledge, I would say once you get to around the 20-minute mark is when you start playing a little more passive and start playing a little more defensive. They really need to. As we're going to take a quick break, is a good scoring opportunity there from the Warriors. And back to what I was saying, yeah. So you kind of have to play a little mismatch. You want to get some Geico, you want to get some insurance for the Warriors, but at the same time, you don't want to be so aggressive that you let in a goal and tie this game up. So there's a healthy mix of both, but the Warriors' defense is strong enough that they can push through and be aggressive through the first half. I think that'll be a good game plan for them. But right around the 20-minute mark, I think you'll see a change in the Warriors' play. You'll probably see a couple of the midfielders drop back a little bit and let the strikers and the wingers really take over the offensive attack.
That makes sense. When you said Geico, I thought you were going to give a shout-out to our assistant baseball coach, Coach Finney Rachel with State Farm. But apparently Geico has a little bit more, a higher place in your heart than Coach Rachel's State Farm.
It's just easier to say. If I say, let's get some State Farm, then it's obvious I'm talking about insurance. If I say some Geico, then people got to think for a minute about what I'm saying. So
that's fair.
Just easy. It just rolls off the tongue a little bit better. But shout out Coach Finney. We're waiting for you to have him back. I'm excited for baseball season. It's coming up. It's only October, but it feels like it's coming up.
Speaking of that, this season has just absolutely flown by. I mean, we are into October. We have one more week and then postseason for the Warriors soccer team, and that's in 2 weeks. We're going to be hosting a regional, if I'm not mistaken. And then football season, we finished our Week 7 game yesterday. We got 2 more games left in the regular season that comes playoffs, and it's wild that the winter season is starting in just over a month.
Alex Moncal with a good opportunity as that one's going to be knocked into the corners. And good recovery there by the Bulldogs. But, yeah, we got 2 golfers downstate this weekend, too. We got Vivian Kutek and Owen Canaris downstate for golf. We got volleyball playoffs starting next week, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I mean, fall sports, believe it or not, are wrapping up as we're getting into the winter season in a minute. You coach the wrestling team as well, so I'm sure that's starting to get up and running in the coming weeks as well. So, yeah, this sports season really has flown by. I would almost say the school year is starting to fly by as I mean, Gracie, you can speak to that as well. You're a transfer. This is your first semester at Wayne Academy. It's moving pretty quickly.
It is. It's going so fast. I feel like my classes are starting now to pile up on work as well, so we'll see how that is for the rest of the semester.
You got to balance the homework, which I clearly did not have to deal with this week, so can't relate there.
But as we were saying, the end of the season is coming up. Postseason is coming to play. I know there's only a couple weeks left in the regular season, but hopefully the season is far from over as we can get some runs down far into the playoffs.
Yeah, we are successful. We're successful so far. We sent a couple of golfers downstate. We got a couple other sports. Hopefully the football team can do well in playoffs. They're gonna see the postseason draw hopefully in the coming weeks after that Marion Central game. So we're excited about that. Hopefully we can get a home game. Soccer's only got one more game after this as well, and then volleyball starts.
Yeah, girls volleyball has been doing really well this year too, and so I know you did a couple live streams of the volleyball games.
Yeah, they're a crazy talented team. Some could argue that they are the most promising team looking towards the playoff as they played Timothy Christian, who is a volleyball powerhouse. They have the number 8 player in the entire nation, and we played a very good game.
Yeah, we held our own against that game. That was so cool to see. Yeah,
and played very strong. We weren't completely healthy either, as one of our captains in Spark Plugs, Lily Blazer, has a bit of a shoulder injury that she's been fighting through. So with a healthy Lily Blazer, my apologies, would be an interesting game. But yeah, we held our own against them, and we'll see how they fare this year. As that will be exciting, as volleyball has not had a successful playoff run in a couple years. So we're really excited to see how they do, and we're excited to see how the golf and football team does as well.
Jacob, I'm going to take this opportunity to just give a shout out to Miss Burek over here. Does a phenomenal job producing this live stream. I know for the football games, I like to throw it on after a home football game and just take a listen to you guys up here in the booth. But I know there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes for the people that are not even heard in order to make this thing happen. So Ms. Burek, thanks for all you do. Keep doing what you're doing. We're excited to see where you take WA TV.
And if we're going to shout out Miss Burek, we got to shout out the rest of our team, as we got Medi, Josh, Eagle Eye, and Luke all on cameras for us tonight. And then Miss Burek's running graphics and TD for us tonight, so she's doing an awesome job. She took over the sports broadcasting class, as it's a tough role to be in. That is a class that you must know a lot about going into it, so she's done an awesome job. We have a great class this year, a pretty full class if I do say so. This is my third semester taking that class, and it's pretty full this year.
Pretty full and wild.
Pretty full and wild. Got a lot of different personalities, that's for sure. But yeah, she's done an awesome job getting us in the right places we need to be. And I've been on the mic every single live stream this fall sports season.
Just Jacob York over here tooting his own horn.
But I'm just saying, I've got to see
firsthand. Doing a phenomenal job
I've
with
got
it
to
too,
see
man.
firsthand the work that Miss Burek has been able to put in, and I'm so grateful for it, and I know other people are as well. So she's done an awesome job. But the other shout out the route that I thought you were going is shout out Miss Dunlap for coaching the volleyball team. She's done a tremendous job. That was the route I thought you were going, and then you segued over to the broadcasting, which is great too.
It sounded like you were taking a little bit of a step back when talking. I was like, I think it's a great opportunity to give Miss Burek a shout out. But Miss Dunlap, you're doing a great job with the volleyball team. Please don't take that any other way. I was just trying to give Miss Burek a shout out. Keep doing what you're doing with the volleyball, and let's go make a run in the state playoffs.
As that was a through ball attempt from Scotty Murray, and that will find the end zone, one might say, as we play soccer on a football field. That is probably the most helpful thing about playing soccer on a football field, is all the yard markers. I can say exactly where the ball is because you can see exactly where the ball is. You don't have to guess. And we are super lucky to be able to play on this awesome turf field. But one thing that me and my co-host last night were talking about, Derek Johannick, is that the way that Performance Trust Field kind of sits down almost in like a little bit of a Coliseum feel to it, because you have the bleachers surrounding it, and makes the atmosphere all the better.
Yeah. But as you talk about those numbers, Jacob, those numbers on the field have a special place in my heart, as myself, Coach Harstead, and Coach Sesnov spend about 8 hours out here in the first couple of weeks of the school year, spray painting the numbers and the hash marks down on the field. I'm not going to say it's a job I look forward to, but it's a job that is necessary for the football program. And so those numbers are near and dear to my heart. And from my vantage point up here, it looks like they're fairly straight. I'm sure there's a spot or two that's maybe a little bit off, but I'm glad they're able to help you commentate from up here.
Now that I'm looking at the numbers, I don't know if they're as straight. Nah, I'm just kidding. No, they look great. We were super blessed with the facilities here at Wheaton Academy. They're awesome. Yeah, you've done quite a few jobs here at Wheaton Academy with all the sports fields. The one that comes to mind is last year, us pumping water out of the outfield so we could play an afternoon, Saturday afternoon baseball game.
I've done that a few times in right field. We may have a turf. Oh, man.
As this is a golden opportunity shot. It's in. Goal by number 13, Kenzo Delamos. Nice job there, as that is the equalizer for Riverside. Brookfield able to knock this one up at 2 as he got in, slipped behind Scotty Murray on the defense. Nicely done by the Bulldogs.
I don't know a ton about soccer, but that looked like a nice piece of athleticism. I don't know if Riddle could have done much more than what he did. Once that ball got through, he had a nice shot on goal and just slipped right past Riddle.
Yeah, Riddle made a pretty good attempt on the right side. Looked like he read the ball pretty well, read the shot pretty well, but it just sneaks past him on the right side. Very well aimed shot. You see a lot of soccer players utilize the lower half of the net just because it's such a tough place to defend for the goalies, and rebounds are wide open if you use the lower half of the net. Me being a hockey player, that's something that we talked about all the time. You shoot low, you give your teammates an opportunity for the goal. but you shoot high, you probably have a higher success rate if you can pinpoint it. But if you can't, then the rebounds are few and far between.
All right, well, it doesn't look like we're going to have a discussion about how we're going to play this last half of the game. We're going to have to go out and we got to score a goal to win, if not put another one in there to make sure we put this out of hand.
As it is a corner kick for the Warriors now. But this goes right back to what we were talking about the aggressiveness of the Warriors, as they were playing pretty aggressive and it burned them a little bit, and now it's a 2-2 game. And for those of you who are wondering, because we had a lot of conversation about it last time, that one was
so
almost an own
close.
goal by the goalie, as Scotty Murray trying to find an open lane to take the shot.
Mason's over there on the side.
Gotta learn how to play in more than 20 yards of space. Mason Brook with some good footwork, as he's going to work that corner, and that will be a foul.
Now that's going to be just a...
I believe it'll be a free kick.
Okay,
for the
so I was
Warriors.
right.
Free kick for the
Warriors. I second-guessed myself. I feel like I just need to start trusting myself
Look
a
at
little
you go
more.
with your soccer terminology. You're all good. But, yeah, Mason Brook will have a free kick on the opposite side. As I was saying, the aggressiveness did burn the Warriors. They were trying to play offensive, trying to get some State Farm insurance.
There we go.
But couldn't quite do it and ended up letting up a goal.
Mason with the kick.
And that one headed to the back of the net.
So
Alex Monkow
close.
just missing the far side post. Good job there. Good read by the Warriors, trying to cross that to the back half of the box. But good goaltending, standing his ground, and Alex Monkow just cannot quite find the net. Two to two the score, as we have just over 20 minutes to play in this one. As Andrew Hancock getting in on the action there. A couple of his first touches of the game. As that one's going to be played down to Max Fitzcam in the corner. He has some absolute soccer talent, and nicely done by the defense. Caleb Vandervelde trying to find a lane, and he skies that one to the parking lot. That was an Ethan Head type kick, as that one looked like it found the ball pit out there in the parking lot.
Hopefully there's a windshield that didn't get taken out over there or something.
Hopefully, as they're setting up for homecoming in the parking lot tomorrow night. Really excited about that. Should be a fun time.
And that's going to be taking place actually in the parking lot, if I'm not
I
mistaken?
believe so. I think it'll be right out there in the parking lot like last year. Unfortunate thing about being up here in the booth, as Bulldogs have a bit of a break here, is I was unable to participate in the long drive contest that went on campus yesterday before the football game.
Long drive contest.
There was a long drive golf contest.
Where was that
on.
taking place?
I believe that was on the. They had a simulator set up on the track field, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Shout out to Brody. I believe he was just short of a 300-yard drive.
I wonder how accurate that is, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
he might be a fish story if I've ever heard one, but yeah, he seemed pretty confident at least. So I'm gonna assume.
I do
that
know
it's
Brody
true.
plays some golf. I've seen the golf clubs in the back of his car, so it may be not quite a fishtail.
He's always
Fish
helping
story, I
out
should
with
say.
He's always helping out with the athletes. So maybe he got to show off the skill of his own. As Caleb Vandervelde down on the ground, got the wind taken out of him a little bit, it looks like, but he's up and he's walking and he's all good now.
We have the presence of our athletic director, Mr. Brad Byrne, who's standing aside of us right now. He's not on the headset, but again, we've been giving some shout-outs tonight. I want to give a shout-out to Mr. Byrne for his leadership in the athletic department, for all he does to make sure our games are run, sports teams are funded, and all sorts of those things. So thank you, Mr. Byrne, for what you do.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a reason that he got to help unveil the 2023 state champion lacrosse team just a few minutes ago at halftime. So thanks to him. He does a great job doing everything he's done for the athletic program. He's an awesome guy to talk to. Loves talking sports. Love getting to talk to him before every game that I get to commentate. Have some fun interactions from him. The Warriors have a golden opportunity to score once again. Scotty Murray going to cross this one in, and very nicely swallowed up by their goalie, Gilberto, once again, as he's played a pretty good game in the net for the Bulldogs, kept them in it this entire game.
Jacob, do we have any idea how many shots on goal each team has? Is that something that we have
I'm not exactly
statistics
sure.
on?
sure. I would have to look it up on Huddle, and I unfortunately don't have great internet.
With
up
all
here
you
in the
do,
booth.
Jacob, that's not something
That's
you
not
can do
something
as
I
well
track.
while you're commentating
Not
up here.
something I track. I
Man.
guess that's one of my many weaknesses up here in the booth. Gotta get on that and improve that. But no, I do not. No, I'm sure the Warriors have more shots on goals. I think they played a more offensive game. But the Bulldogs have played the more of the Hail Mary game, one might say, where they have a couple big drives and it's worked for them as it is a tie game.
Throwing a football term in there for me. I appreciate it.
Me and Derek Johannick had a good slide tackle there by Jacob Carlson. As we will play on. Nice defense there, as that was a bit of a
Starting
late
to get
shove.
aggressive.
There we go. Now we're starting to get a little chippy.
Yep.
It's getting intense here at Performance Trust Field. As I was saying, though, me and Derek Johannick had a fun conversation about broadcasting isms and certain sayings that we use. One that I pulled out for the first time last night on the football broadcast. Don't know when it'll make another appearance. As I said, as Emery Eckert had that long run to the end zone, I said Emery Eckert's taking this one to the crib for a touchdown for the Warriors. And, that was one of my...
To the crib. I've not heard the crib. I've heard to the house.
I heard that one a couple weeks ago on a YouTube video talking about a certain football team I cannot remember off the top of my head, and I was like, I got to pull that one out. That one and Have Yourself a Night are my two original and go-to sayings up here in the booth.
Okay, I like it.
Good toss there by Caleb Vanderbilt. Got a lot of speed behind that one. Bit of a miss kick. The Warriors able to pick it up again. Scotty Murray's going to probably find Carlton on the end. Plays him a through ball, and it's just going to be too far and out of bounds. Once again, the Warriors kind of playing in 15 yards of space. Once again, they have a lot of the same attacks as Gabe Rodriguez and Kyler Finnegan are going to get on the field now for the Warriors. Try to change things up as Andrew Hancock will trot off the field.
All right, I've heard you say it a couple times. You said it as well, Gracie. What are you guys referring to when you say playing within 10 to 15 yards? What are you referring to?
Gracie, you can go ahead and take that one. Really what we're talking about is that they are playing in the same 10 yards of space and not expanding the horizons. They're not expanding the offensive territory because there's a lot of ground to cover. They need to spread out, move the ball around a little more, get the goalie moving from one side of the net to the other. They tend to play on the left side of the field a lot more than the right. You saw that a lot in the first half as they were nearsighted to the box.
Lots of bunching in the middle.
Exactly. They stay very close quarters. They like They like tighter passing. They don't like the long pass. I do appreciate that about the Warriors team is they have a lot of tight passes and really understand how to move the ball around. But yeah, they play in a lot of the same space, and they need to spread out just a little more, expand the horizons. That way they can move the goalie around and get some better scoring opportunities.
Thanks for clarifying that for me.
Yeah, and that helps clarify that for everyone watching at home, too, who was a little confused about what we're talking about. But that's an encouragement to tune into all of our live streams because we have a lot of those things like that for certain teams. Definitely have some of those for the football team and a lot for the volleyball team as well. So, make sure you guys subscribe, and because we got a lot of more live streams coming your way soon. Basketball season's right around the corner, and that's probably our biggest live stream season as a school. We live stream a lot of those games between football and basketball. Those are our two most popular live stream sports.
Now, here's a question for you as we get to the winter season. Will there be some wrestling live streams, though?
I believe so.
I don't know if we had one last year.
We didn't have one last year as we didn't have enough people on the production team. I'm going to have to do my wrestling research and learn
I would
how to
love to do
that.
commentary for wrestling.
I'm going to have to learn how to do
with
that.
Coach Harstead now on staff in the wrestling program, I'm taking a little bit more of a step back. I will be in and out, helping out a little bit, but I actually will be stepping back quite a bit for the wrestling
Golden
program.
opportunity for the Warriors. Sam shot is just right in the net. Good opportunity there for the Warriors as they're going to sustain pressure once again. But yeah, I'm excited. I think we have 2 wrestling live streams this year. From what I've heard. Once again, I can't say that for sure, unconfirmed, but I think we have 2. So
I will gladly help out if you need some extra voices on the live stream.
You're going to be teaching me about wrestling terminology if that's the case. That would be spectacular.
No problem. Coach Johannick does also Derek Johannick's dad, our head football coach, does a great job commentating. So he is also somebody that might want to join the headsets with.
Right there, you could see the Bulldogs with a big-time rush up the field and good pressure where the Warriors didn't look like they knew how to stop their offensive attack. That's kind of the Hail Mary pass type approach I was talking about. They don't have a lot of consistent possession, but when they do, it's really good chances for the Bulldogs. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays in the last 15 minutes of this game. As it is the Bulldogs throw-in.
You always want to see a win on homecoming, but if we can pull out a win and make it a competitive game as well, that's always a nice opportunity too.
Scotty Murray's going to be able to head this one out of the Warriors zone. As I was going to say earlier and then forgot to mention, for those of you who are wondering, overtime shootout, there is none because it's a non-conference game, so this game would end in a tie if there's no goal. As that shot is headed to the top right corner.
That looked
and
like it was
just
going in.
That was
over
quite
the
an opportunity
net.
right there.
Great shot there from Swissonis. That was almost the second goal of the game.
That was pretty straight too. There's no bend either way on that. That was dead straight to the upper right-hand corner of the net.
Great kicking mechanics there from Swissonis. Stayed behind the ball long, and then a nice, powerful kick. Tried to find that top right corner. Connor Riddle was all over that shot, though. He read that perfectly.
He was right there.
And he was ready to go, but it just goes wide of the crossbar, and we still got a 2-2 game on our hands. Carlton McClure with some speed up the field. Now he'll pass it off to Mason Brook, but it will just go out of bounds right in front of that 2023 state championship sign. That looks pretty good down there.
It does.
Or at least from up here, it does. Pretty cool to see all of our state championship banners along the outside. Love that touch that they put on this this cool complex last year.
Another great idea from our athletic director, Brad Byrne.
Hopefully we can add a baseball state championship banner to that this year.
That's the goal, Jacob. You're going to have to be a big part of that for us this
We're
year.
gonna have to step up. I'm excited. We got one of our big players last year was an all-state player, Eric DaCosta. Got to shout him out. I just talked to him today. He's in some big-time conversation with some big schools as of late. As he's topping some pretty high numbers on the mound. As he topped 95 earlier this week in Florida, and he's sitting 91, 92, 93. So he's going to be a big-time threat for any batter that steps in the box.
Yeah. Should be an exciting year. We got to finish this fall season and go through our winter season before we get there.
As once again, great offensive rush from the Bulldogs here. Nice defense by Jacob Carlson. And Adam Weber able to knock it out of play, but it will be a corner kick for the Bulldogs. Once again, you can see the Bulldogs rushing up the field rather quickly as the Warriors had possession for about 2 minutes and then turned the ball over real quick.
This last probably 15 minutes or so, I mean, there have been great opportunities on both sides. It hasn't been dominated on one side of the field. We've had our opportunities, and they've had theirs as well. And so the score on the board is very indicative of the environment here and how the players are playing on the field. Or I should say the pitch.
The pitch. Great soccer terminology there. As that one will find the back of the net. A header goal by the Bulldogs off 2 Wheaton Academy players and in the net. So I'm trying to figure out who that was, as that was Will Sessler who scored that goal, number 14. Those white numbers are hard to see on the jerseys, but it's a 3-2 Riverside Brookfield lead now. As the Warriors are going to play aggressive now. Watch to see how the possession changes from the Warriors. You won't see as much sustained pressure as Adam Weber has a good chance for the Warriors now. Finds Sam Brown in the box, and it is we almost had a tie game right back off the bat, but it will be a corner kick for the Warriors. Another good opportunity here, but a great chance and just a good defensive play by the Bulldogs. As Gabe Stein-Rodriguez will take the corner for the Warriors. Warriors need to capitalize on this one. It's crossed to the middle. It's just a little far. Kyler Finnegan gonna try to chip it back into the zone, but it will be a goal kick. Unfortunate turn of events there for the Warriors, but they have time. They don't need to force it. They have 11 minutes and some change left on the clock.
Jay, we got quite a few students standing behind the goal back there.
think they got a little excited at that last opportunity. I got a little excited up here in the booth. I thought we were about to have another tie game on our hands.
If you're standing behind that goal, are you chirping at the goalie? That's my question.
I can neither confirm or deny if I'd be chirping the goalie, as we do have our athletic director. As that's another good chance. Great defense by Asher Barton, able to knock that one out of play. Great speed displayed, but yeah, I can either confirm or deny if I'm chirping. If it was hockey, most definitely. Soccer, I don't feel like I know enough about soccer to chirp, but there would be a few words exchanged, most likely. As it will be a corner kick for the Bulldogs now, another golden opportunity for them to get some State Farm insurance, and we'll see if they can capitalize on that. As the last goal they did score was on a corner kick. Just trying to go back post once again. Can't quite capitalize this time, as I believe this is the most goals in a single game in regulation, I should mention, that Connor Riddle has given up all year, if I'm not mistaken. In regulation, I think this is the most goals he's given up.
Wow.
But that has to be attributed to the Bulldogs offense, not necessarily to the gameplay of Connor Riddle, because he's done a great job in net so far. But yeah, the Bulldogs offense has been stellar tonight. As the Warriors have some steam up ahead once again. Caleb Vanderveld puts on the brakes. A little give and go action there between Scotty and Caleb, but it will be the Warriors ball. A free kick right around the 35-yard line, which for those of you who are trying to calculate how far that has to go to the net, you have to add another 10 yards of the end zone, so about 45 yards out from the net, as the Warriors are going to hand the ball off to Jacob Carlson for a free kick here. This one's crossed in. It looks pretty good going towards the net. Asher Barton's going to settle this one and tries to kick it towards the net, but it will be a goal kick once again.
Jacob, we've shouted out a lot of different people here tonight. I'm going to give you a shout out. I know you're not going to talk about yourself. Maybe you did a little bit earlier. I teased you about tooting your own horn, but you're doing a great job. I got a text from my wife who's been listening to the game, and I'll read you what she said. She said, Jacob is so knowledgeable at every sport. Can't believe it. So she loves listening to you. She actually says that she probably prefers being at home watching the game rather than being here in person, because she can actually see what's going on from the live stream and can actually learn a little bit more about the game and what is actually happening from you up here in the box. So keep doing what you're doing. But I got big fans of it from the Swider household.
That's awesome. That means the world to me, as I'm really excited that I get the opportunity to study sports broadcasting in college. That's what I'll be majoring in as well. So I'll hopefully be doing this in the future for quite some time is the goal. But yeah, that means a lot to me. I love being up here in the booth, but I get to do my job just because everybody else on their team does such a great job getting good camera shots. Miss Pierce does a great job on graphics, TD, and making all that work out. So you get to hear my voice on the live stream, but I can't do what I do without the rest of the team.
Jacob's the one who actually convinced me to start doing play-by-play and commentary. I was set on not doing it at all this year and just filming, but he convinced me, and I did one soccer game and I enjoyed it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, so I'm back because of Jacob.
She's
so
back. Yeah,
props to him.
I heard we had a class project where we did a little sports podcast, and I heard Gracie's voice immediately, and I was like, we need to get her on the mic, because she's got a great speaking voice and knows what she's talking about in the realm of sports. So we need to get her up here ASAP. And shout out to you, Gracie. You've done a great job through the half a game you had the first time up here with me in the booth, and then your second appearance here tonight. And hopefully we'll get you on our last volleyball live stream as well.
Yes, that'd be fun.
Gracie, I know you said you played soccer.
Yes.
Are you playing soccer here? Are you playing
I'm not.
sports?
I actually do gymnastics.
Okay.
And last year, took my gymnastics team to state. We got third, and I got fifth on floor exercise. And actually, my appeal was approved, so I will be representing Wayne Academy in gymnastics this year as an individual. So we'll see what happens
Way
with
to
that.
Go. That is awesome.
Yes.
You're gonna. Me and Coach Swider, if I'm not mistaken, I won't speak for you, but I'm a little out of my depth when it comes to gymnastics terminology. Coach Swider, you can speak for yourself on that one. But me personally, I just don't know a lot about the sport of gymnastics. I know my sister competed for a while, but that is news. Probably the first Weed Academy gymnast in a very long time, if not ever.
Yeah.
From my time here, I haven't really heard of any, so
Yep.
That might be it. You said your sister. I've been to a few gymnastic practices for my boys.
Oh, that's where I used to compete. Yep.
Over the past few years, they've been doing some somersaults and some bar hangs and stuff. We do have a rope out front of our house now that they have to climb.
I have seen
How
that.
fun is that?
Every day. So that is part of their exercise routine in the morning when they wake up.
As we're shouting out all the sports up here, Coach Swider, you've gotten into the triathlon scene a little bit, if I'm not mistaken.
I have. This past summer I did 2 of them, and so it's something new I'm trying out. Played sports all growing up and through college, and then figured, why not? Let's try something new. As I turned 32 this summer, let's do something different than just lifting weights. And so I tried to get into the endurance sports.
So remind me again, how long time-wise is a triathlon from start to finish?
It depends on the distance you're doing. There's a sprint triathlon, which is shorter. If I'm not mistaken, it's like roughly a half mile swim. It's like a 5K run, and then like a 12-mile bike. Then there's Olympic distance, which I did this summer. It's about 0.9 mile swim. It's a 24.8 mile bike, and then a 10K run. There is a half Ironman, which is like a 1.5 mile swim, a 56 mile bike, I believe, and then a 13-mile run. And then there's Ironmans, which are like a 2 mile swim, just over 2 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and then a marathon run afterwards.
That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be doing the half Ironmans or an Ironman, but as of right now, we're doing
No call there. Wow.
The crowd is going crazy over this.
4 minutes and 34 seconds left on the clock, and wow, what a collision that happened in the big box.
Sam Brown taken down in the box. No call, as the Warriors are going to still play from behind here with just about 4 minutes on the clock, as the Bulldogs are going to rush up the field once again. But the endurance that must take to run a triathlon, personally, I don't have it because I play baseball, and we sprint for 90 feet. If we're lucky and hit one to the wall, then it's
180 feet.
180, but yeah, no, I cannot even imagine. I never ran cross country, or I played hockey, which is a very endurance-based sport, but at the same time, not in the same way, because you take minute-long shifts where you sprint and you stop and you sprint some more. But yeah, that is a crazy scene and sport to get into. And
my favorite part of this summer we're doing those was actually probably the hour before the race. The pregame jitters, excitement. I threw the headphones in a little bit, put the hood up, like kind of got into the groove. Hadn't felt that really since playing sports back in college. So that was probably the most fun for me, is like game day type feel. And then maybe crossing the finish line and being over with it is probably another great feeling as well.
The mental approach in that game is probably really tough too, because I mean you are competing against others, but at the same time you're more competing against your own mindset and your own mentality.
Yeah, my goal is, I'm not a great swimmer, but I can run and I can bike a little bit. And so I got out of the water, and I got passed in the water, but once I got out of the water, I shouldn't say I got passed. I never caught him in the water. But once I got out of the water, my goal was to never get passed and just catch as many people as possible on the bike and the run. And in both triathlons, I was able to not get past, and I caught quite a few people. So, so that's the competitiveness part that I really enjoyed.
I would almost compare the mental side almost to a golf approach, where you kind of have to stay level-headed for such a long time and stay in tune, because, I mean, it really is a marathon that you're running in a sense, where there's a lot of different stages. There's ups, there's downs, there's stuff that you're good at, and there's stuff that you're not as good at, and you kind of have to make that up over time. So you have to stay level-headed throughout all of it and stay encouraged. And I'm sure
they're starting to get chippies. You can probably hear on some of the microphones. Let's see here. If I'm not mistaken, is that going to be a card there, Jacob?
I believe he did give him a yellow card, yes. as he'll get subbed off. So unlike professional soccer, a yellow card comes off. He just has to come out for the half, if I'm not mistaken, or until the next timeout. Until the next stoppage of time. So he'll be able to go back in, but he also has to sit out a game in the future if you get a yellow card. As Andrew Lopez comes out of the game for the Warriors as well. This is a golden opportunity for the Warriors to get back into it as Kyler Finnegan is going to cross it to the box. And Carlton McClure trying to inch his way towards it.
Oh.
And ball continues to stay up in the air, but finally cleared out. Good settle there by Kyler Finnegan. Tried to cross it back in once again. Scotty with the good opportunity. Finds Sam Brown on the opposite side.
Oh, man.
One too many moves. Could have taken a shot. Probably handled the ball a little more than he needed to, as there's 2 minutes and 45 seconds on the cross. That's a cross.
Oh.
Alex Monkow and Sam Brown
Nice
both
save
collapsing
by the
on that
Riverside
one.
Brookfield defender.
Kyler Finnegan tried to step up. As the Bulldogs, as you can see, playing with a lot less pace towards the net, but they are making an approach at trying to get themselves some insurance. That shot is blocked by Connor Riddle, as that had some steam behind it.
Bounce over his head. Nope.
Carlton
2 minutes
McClure.
and 10 seconds left on the clock here. Still got some time, but we got to go.
Warriors need one good push, and they need some type of free kick, corner kick. They need some type of way to get the ball in the air, as that one's crossed to the middle. Good opportunity for the Bulldogs. That's shot, and Connor Riddle standing his own in the goal once again, as he's going to boot this one downfield. As you can see, Jacob Carlson has moved up to offense for the Warriors.
Oh, got a cross, give a cross. There it is.
They chip this one.
Oh.
They try to find Max
He
Fitzgerald.
had him, just not quite enough in the air.
Couldn't quite do it there, as Bulldogs trying to make their way upfield once again, as Castillo handling the ball for the Bulldogs now. That's a great through ball. Great passing play as Asher Barton trying to find a way to move it upfield. 1 minute and 15 seconds on the clock. Mason Brook doing a nice job turning it over for the Warriors. They just cannot get some sustained possession, as there's only 1 minute left. They're gonna move Caleb Vanderbilt back, under 1 minute to play now. The Warriors need to stay calm and collected. I know that's hard with 1 minute left, but they need to find a way. As that ball is out, Caleb Vanderbilt's gonna run.
40 seconds, we have one opportunity left. We got to make the most of it.
That tosses down, good header by Jacob Carlson. As a foul called there, Warriors need to force the pressure here. Under 30 seconds to play. As Mason Brook is gonna have to take it. He can't stop the clock, as people are asking for the clock to be stopped. They cannot stop the clock.
$11 seconds left.
11 seconds left. This is about to get interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Mason Brook will have a free kick for the Warriors, as Connor Riddle's in on the attack as well. As that one goes to the opposite side. The Warriors still have some possession. That one goes right over the net, and the clock is going to bleed out. The Warriors will fall to the Riverside Brookfield Bulldogs. Great game from both sides. The Bulldogs and the Warriors with a great rivalry here at Performance Trust Field on homecoming Friday night, but the Bulldogs will come out on top in this one, 3-2.
What a hard-fought game by both teams. Came down to the wire, had opportunities.
Great game overall. Thanks to the entire production crew once again, Maddie, Josh, Eli, and Luke, all on cameras. Thanks to Miss Bjork for running the show up here on the tech side. Thanks to Gracie and Coach Swider for being up here in the booth with me. Loved having you guys up here. It's been a fun time. Thanks to everyone tuning in for watching this game. Once again, drop a like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at @TheRealWattTV for more live stream news and updates. You don't want to miss that, but thank you guys all for tuning in. It's been a fun one, and we'll see you guys soon. Any last words from Gracie or Coach Swider?
All I'll say is, Jacob, what an opportunity it has been to be up here on the headset with you. Keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully I'll get the invitation back. And Gracie, it was great meeting you,
Yes,
and you did a
you
great
too.
job up here
So
as well.
fun.
Absolutely. And as we always say up here in the booth, Warriors Country, let's ride. We'll see you next time.